also designers need to have a little bit more sense of responsibility about the image of women that they're projecting out there, especially to young girls. So it's terribly important to bring people in from the outside and not to remain too insular, and also to hire as many young, bright people like all of you as you can, just to teach you how to think about things completely differently. I've read a lot of commentary from various journalists saying that there are no trends, which I personally think is a wonderful thing, and it's much more about expressing who you are and the style that you enjoy. To me, it's not about length or shape, it's just about expressing yourself. I think clarity is one of the most important leadership qualities that one can have. I think it's really important to be very specific and very clear in what you expect, and then to delegate. People respond much better when they're in a more independent environment and you're not completely breathing down their neck all the time. The other thing I think is incredibly important is to hire divas like Andre Leontali, who will disagree with you and contradict you and not yes you all the time. And not to be scared of having people working with you that have different opinions. Please don't become over-specialized. Be intellectually free. Try lots and lots of different things, especially these days in the world of media. It is crucial to have multiple interests and skill sets, to have tried and possibly failed at many different undertakings. Really to be true to yourself and listen as much as one is able to other people whose opinions you respect and look up to, but in the end it has to come from you, and you can't really worry too much by looking to the left or to the right about what the competition might be doing or other people in your field might be doing. It has to be a true vision. And I think we were also extremely proactive. We didn't sort of sit there and wring our hands and say, oh God, this is awful, what should we do? We actually went out there and tried to help people and tried to re-energize them and try to give them some hope and some direction without, trying to sound too Pollyanna. I think to be proactive in times of hardship is the most important thing. Was the editor on one shoot that was, I think it was the French fashion shows, and I decided that it would be interesting to have dreadlocks on the models, and I think that pushed them further than they could bear. So that was it for me. But I think it's always part of life to have some knocks as well as some successes,
and to take risks,
and to learn. So I think it's healthy for everyone to lose a job as well as to gain a job. Is that I think it is quite easy to become well known, not always for the right reasons today, and I strongly advise actually getting a little bit of substance under your belt before you become famous, because fame doesn't necessarily translate into success, and I think that is a mistake that I've seen many people make, particularly recently. But don't close your mind to other callings. My own son Charlie came up to Oxford to study modern history, thinking maybe he would be a journalist or an economist. 4 years later, he realized that his real love was medicine. So don't get me wrong, Charlie had a great time at Oxford. And today, reading the evaluations he receives from medical school, I noticed that one of the things his professors all mention is how literary and how well written all his research material is. So I don't for a second begrudge him the time he had here. I think how lucky he was. He came back from Oxford a very different young man from when he left. he really matured and found out what he wanted to do with his life.